для защиты нашей Родины, ее суверенитета и территориальной целостности, для обеспечения безопасности нашего народа и людей на освобожденных территориях, считаю необходимым поддержать предложение Министерства обороны и Генерального штаба о проведении в Российской Федерации частичной мобилизации. Граждане России могут быть уверены, территориальная целостность нашей Родины, наша независимость и свобода будут обеспечены. Подчеркну это еще раз. Всеми имеющимися у нас средствами. А те, кто пытаются шантажировать нас ядерным оружием, должны знать, что роза ветров.
That is Vladimir Putin apparently responding to the fact that the Russian invasion of Ukraine is going absolutely horribly for them, saying that they're doing this partial mobilization. Now that speech is designed to project strength for Putin, for Russia. Don't buy it. Every single bit of that is obvious, pathetic projection, attempt to distract. That's all it is. And also, deeply invested in it, fear of the domestic political situation that he's currently facing. So let's break down where all of that is, because you might not initially see it, but it could not be clearer to me. So you'll notice he didn't declare a full national draft. This is a partial mobilization of people with prior military experience, perhaps mobilizing as many as 300,000 people. So why is he doing that? Well, he's been suffering from a lot of pressure from people, including on state media, by the way, which is bonkers, in Russia, saying you are not doing enough to absolutely devastate Ukraine. You need to do something. So he's doing something, but he's also terrified of what might happen domestically were he to do a full draft. And so he's not doing that, because a full draft, of course, would involve more people. Also potentially might involve drafting the kids of those in highly placed positions in politics and business who might not be fans of that. Now you can just take these people who already have some military experience. That isn't gonna spook as many people. And so you've got that going on. In his announcement, you've got them saying our territorial integrity will not be threatened. They're threatening us with nuclear weapons. Dude, what the hell are you talking about? You invaded another country. You're the one who can't go 3 days without talking about nuclear weapons and endangering that nuclear plant. But everything has to be twisted. Again, it's the hit dog will holler thing. They're getting run across Ukraine right now by the Ukrainian forces. And they're not admitting that, by the way. They're saying we're strategically regrouping, and now they want to project strength, implying that Russia has been threatened, Russia has been blackmailed. Get out of Ukraine. If you want to be protected, if you don't want your soldiers to be at risk, maybe don't invade other countries with them, would be my advice, JR. But what do you think?
There's a reason why conservatives in our country were in full support of Putin throughout this. The Tucker Carlsons, the pundits and everything like that. And some of the politicians, let's keep it real. Because it's mirrored approach to the type of politics. Don't admit the problems that you've caused for yourself, the extreme problems you've caused for yourself with this invasion. And then the way it's not working out for you because maybe it's badly planned or just the whole point of it was for ego stroking and advancement of yourself anyway. Then also blame the people then that you're attacking is doing exactly what it is that you're doing and trying to flip that script. It's constant, it's like a playbook. Then after all that, once that's not working out, or even if it is, threaten even more violence. Let's escalate it to a higher level so that we can really scare people into scaring them into then bowing down to us. It's playing itself out right in front of us, and then we can see why this is over and over and over again. These aren't new tactics; these are bullying tactics. And then when you look bad enough, and then we always hear these reports, and I never know the degree to which they're valid, of potential people turning on him and people asking for resignations and stepping down. All that's pressure. If it's happening to the degree that then we got American media reporting it, so I mean we have reasons to do that. But if it's happening in that way, desperate times. Escalation is the only way then to back your way out of this and try to still look like you have some level of power or control over the situation. It looks like it's pretty much spiraling way out of control.
Yeah, 100%. And by the way, like these are new levels of him trying to project strength as he's increasingly scared of everyone around him. But bear in mind, the entire war, that's all that was. That's him attempting to distract forces inside of his own country. There's nothing to be gained from this. Certainly not for the Russian people. There is no reason to continue this except for his own personal interest. That's why he is doing this. All of this is fundamental weakness, fear. That's what Vladimir Putin is expressing. And by the way, look, people are spreading some good lines. Someone in the chat, Darren, says, a general said, once upon a time, Russia had the second most powerful military in the world. Now it's the second most powerful military in Ukraine. That's a great line. But again, while we're right to point out that they've retreated across the country, when people are like, they're running like girls, they're scared. I don't like any of that, because I can't imagine being one of those soldiers. Like the Russian soldiers. I'm sure some of them terrible people or whatever, but the vast majority probably have no interest whatsoever in being there. I don't want them to be killed. I certainly don't want them killing any soldiers or civilians in Ukraine, as has happened so much. I don't want them to be there. That is the whole point of this. I don't want this mobilization because I don't want 300,000 more Russian troops being forced to go to Ukraine. None of this needs to happen. None of this needs to continue. They can improve their situation dramatically, immediately, by getting the hell out of Ukraine. In the exact same way that the US could have benefited from pulling out of our wars a couple of decades early. They can do that now. They're losing tons of people, they're losing tons of equipment, tons of vehicles, and they will continue to, not because they want to, but because Vladimir Putin wants them to. And there's protests going on right now. Over 100 people, Reuters is saying, have already been detained. They're protesting over this mobilization, and good. I like that they're doing that.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.